Okay. What's up? What's up? What's up? All right. So apparently, this offseason, the Green Bay Packers offered Aaron Rodgers a contract that would have made him the highest paid player in the NFL. And this is why I said in a previous video I did about Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers situation. I'm say what I said. I don't know why I just did that. So I was saying that I don't think this is about money. Aaron got his money. Aaron signed that big contract that he wanted like 2-3 years ago when Mike McCarthy was there. And I also said that contract was the beginning of the end for Mike McCarthy. That contract was going to be what did McCarthy in because it showed that the Packers were invested in Aaron and not in McCarthy. So I wasn't in the room when his contract was signed. I don't know any of the details, but I can tell you a strong guess and a strong possibility of one of the contingencies of signing that contract from Aaron was you got to go out and you got to get me a new head coach. You have to go get me somebody else, somebody that could do the job. So instead of them keeping Mike McCarthy and instead of them bringing in some older guy that is a more established coach, they went out and they got one of themselves a little wonderkin, kind of like Sean McVay, Cliff Kingsbury, Zach Taylor. They went out and got Matt LaFleur. So who's supposed to be this, again, wonderkin? Like they keep looking at these young head coaches like they're supposed to be these offensive prodigies that, will revolutionize the way that you play the game of football. We saw how that worked out for Sean McVay. So Matt LaFleur came in, and Matt LaFleur was obviously the prize that Aaron wanted. He was what Aaron was positioning himself for, was to get rid of McCarthy and bring somebody else in. So with this being about money is a lie. I never thought this was about money. This was a power move. But also, see, Aaron, all right, if anybody remembers the Batman Begins, the first Batman movie of the Christopher Nolan trilogy, when Ra's al Ghul was training Batman, he told him, you sacrifice sure footing for a killing stroke. And then he taps the ice and Bruce obviously falls through the ice. So I think that's what Aaron did here. He sacrificed his leverage over the team to get rid of Mike McCarthy. And now he has no leverage. He signed that contract, and I believe that he still has another 2 years left on a contract because if I'm not mistaken, it was a 5-year deal. I could go back. You know what? Let me go back and look at it. All right, so it was a 4-year deal. And so after this season, his contract would be up. And they were trying to extend his contract for another 2 seasons, and which would have made him the highest paid player. Now, if his thing was, and this is what Shannon Sharp says, I don't know about anybody else, but as far as I've been concerned with, I've been watching Undisputed. So Shannon Sharp has this notion that it's about money, and it's not. It's not about money. It's about position and power. And I'm sorry, Aaron Rodgers will never have the power, and I love it when organizations. Now, if an organization chooses not to pay you and you've done nothing but bring success to that team, that's different than them giving you all the money that you could want and you still not being satisfied. And now you're trying to hold them hostage. And I say this about any player. Like, if you're unhappy before you sign a contract, when you sign that contract, how is it supposed to be why would you think it'd be any different? You put yourself in that situation. So that's what happened. So, all right, so let's get to it. I just spent the last 4 minutes talking. Let's get to it.
This offseason, the Packers offered Aaron Rodgers a 2-year contract extension that would have tied him to Green Bay for 5 more seasons and made him the highest paid quarterback and player in football. Rodgers declined that offer. Proof, It's not about the money. Good morning, everybody. Welcome into First Take. Stephen A., I will start with you here. Does this mean...
Now let's go back and let's listen to what Molly Karam said. I believe it was a direct quote from Aaron Rodgers. Because I go back and look at the Aaron Rodgers video I did. I said this is not about money. It's about something more important than money. It's about power. It's about leverage. It's about leverage. At a certain point in a player's career, when you're a great player, it's about leverage. You want leverage. I mean, the money's great. The money feels good. But you want to be able to say, they've invested so much into me that I have all the power in case shit gets shaky. And this is what you want. And this is what Aaron wants. He wants leverage. You know, I don't know. I could never bring myself to think that this is about money with him when he just signed a massive contract. But what do I know? You know, I'm just a guy that loves sports. I'm just a guy that sits at home and, you know, love doing these videos because I love talking the game. What do I know? Shannon Sharp is smarter than I am. Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman, these dudes are getting paid millions to do a job, which great for them. That some might argue they're not even qualified to do, and I get it, but this is ridiculous, man. You know, like, you come out, you make your assessments, you make your, you know, your opinions known on television, and most of the time they're wrong. And with this Aaron Rodgers situation, this is just a situation where they just could not figure out what the problem was. But let's go. Let's get to it, man.
Aaron Rodgers leaves the Packers.
Well, first things first. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Secondly, you know what? It's not proof that he's going to leave the Packers because, again, they still have his rights, at least for another year. When ultimately, if they made the decision to depart from him, it would be cap friendly to the Green Bay Packers. But once again, you know, this is the kind of thing I have to admit. I saw this story. I saw this breaking news from the great Adam Schefter himself, and I was utterly disgusted.
And people is still saying Adam Schefter is this great guy or this great reporter or whatever it is he is. You know, like, he's this great. This dude just came out and said, like, 3 months ago, that he lied. That he lied about the Aaron Rodgers situation. That he lied about this. You know, he broke a story that wasn't even true. That's what he said out of his own mouth. Whether it's true or not, this is what came out of his mouth. And people are still, you know, trusting this guy's word as a reliable source.
And it was not just at the Green Bay Packers, Molly and Max. It's at all of these NFL aficionados, people that we have working here at this network, people that we have that we see working on the NFL and beyond at other networks and what have you. All the people that have been connected with the National Football League, who's played in the National Football League, who walks around acting like they don't understand a damn thing that I'm saying. The bottom line is this. This is proof of what I've been talking about for months. It's not about football. It's not just about the money. It's not just, and it certainly isn't about football. The Green Bay Packers were 13-3 in back-to-back years under Matt LaFleur as the head coach. They went to back-to-back NFC championship games, which means they were a part of the Final Four for 2 consecutive years. What idiot out there would possibly think this is football? This is not about football. This is about the way that the Green Bay Packers have treated their star player. They have disregarded him. They have dismissed him. They have minimized him. They've disrespected him. And he said, bump y'all. Enough.
Aaron Rodgers has everything he needs to win. The only thing Aaron Rodgers doesn't have is leadership skills. That's what he lacks. His teams have been good enough for him to get the job done. Look at the way they played in the NFC Championship game this year. That defense got him 3 second-half picks. He missed multiple throws to Devontae Adams in the fourth quarter. And sure, Matt LaFleur, he decided to kick a field goal instead of just going for it because it's like, you're down 8. Like you need to score. But let's not act like Aaron didn't fudge that game up multiple plays before that. Like, come on, man. He has a top 5 running back. I don't care what anybody says. Aaron Jones is a top 5 running back still until he's proven that he isn't anymore. He was one of the leading rushers a year ago, or the year prior to last year. And I don't know if he was a league leader, but as far as talent goes, I'm sure he hasn't had a drop off. You still have one of the best backs in the league. And you have a top 5 wide receiver who might be the best wide receiver in the NFL. I'm not sure. It's between him and Michael Thomas, but I think Devontae Adams might have him beat out this year. So it's like he has arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL. Top 5 running back in the NFL. And people don't like to bring this up. Aaron Rodgers stays with Pro Bowl, all pro level offensive linemen. Like he stays with high level offensive linemen. Even tracing back to the days of the Packers. I mean, this dude stays with high level. And I'm not talking about his entire O-line is some great O-line. I'm not saying that. But he at least has 1 or 2 all-pro, Pro Bowl caliber offensive linemen, which is more than a lot of other teams, man. A lot of other teams are just hoping that from week to week their offensive line can do a good enough job. But this dude stays with a pretty decent offensive line. Even this year, Corey Linsley, I believe, was the best center in the NFL. And you still got Bakhtiari. Like, come on, man. Like, like this dude stays with talent. That defense, people keep talking about how bad the Packers defense is. The Packers defense, they have talent on it. Whether or not they were coached right, whether or not they play well, doesn't negate the fact that they have talent. But Aaron being the best player on that team, Aaron being one of the best players in the NFL, he's supposed to make that train go. It's funny. I've never seen somebody get mad at a train because the wheels stop moving. Aaron Rodgers is the wheels. He gets that train from point A to point B, and everybody else are the car. Like they're the carriages. They're the the cars. They're the cars on the wheels. If you take the wheels away, where the fuck are they gonna go? You need a quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is the wheels to the train. You need him to get you where you need to fucking go. And if the wheels don't work, how can you expect to go somewhere? Or if the wheels are fucking up, how can you expect to get from point A to point B like you would expect to? Like, Aaron is a complainer. Aaron is he's a blame avoider. And he's always playing the victim. He's always playing the victim. If you ask Aaron Rodgers, he will tell you that he's a victim without saying, I'm a victim. He will... like, all I've seen ever since the Packers lost was Aaron Rodgers get on some podcast with this super puppy dog sad look on his face. Like, feel bad for me. I'm one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL. I'm one of the most talented quarterbacks still in the NFL. My team went to back-to-back NFC Championship games, but feel bad for me. Like, come on, bro.
And to me, to watch and listen to people who are experts on the National Football League, who know football back and forth, who I'm proud to call colleagues, who have forgotten more football than I will ever know, but are prideful men who would speak eloquently and ad nauseum about the need, the zest, the craving for respect, to act like you can't comprehend what the hell Aaron Rodgers has been saying all of these months.
There's the difference between respect and power. Like, there's a difference. To be respected is for people to admire you, for people to acknowledge you, for people to hold you in high regard. That's respect. Power is people almost fear you, you know, like they're wary of you. You know, they don't want to be on your bad side. That type of shit. It's like having two different kids. One respects you and one fears you because of the power that you hold. It's like two different situations, man. Like, if Aaron wanted respect, he wouldn't hold out. He wouldn't be missing these off-season training OTAs or whatever. Like, he wouldn't be missing these things. He would be communicating with his team. He wouldn't be throwing his teammates under the fucking bus. Like, if Aaron wanted respect, he would give respect. You know, he would, you know, it would be less dramatic than what it is if it was about respect. He would just come out and say, I don't feel like I'm respected enough. I don't feel like this team appreciates or respects what I've brought them over the past however many years that he's been the starting quarterback. Like, that's different than, I'm just not going to show the fuck up. And then every time he talks, it's always like some coded barb that I believe that he was the one that either liked or posted something about the GM of the Packers being like Jerry Krause and he's like Michael Jordan. I think a post was made and he liked it. Something like that. Like, people that want respect don't do shit like that. Like, they don't do things like that. You know, they don't do things like that, but it's fine, you know. It's fine. Aaron is this great guy. You know, it's disrespectful to challenge anything like that when it comes to him. I get it.
Entire off season is beyond me. He doesn't want to be a part of the Packers organization because we've seen the evidence from Mark Murphy, who tried to put a different spin on it weeks ago and tried to throw it back on Aaron Rodgers. We know that Matt LaFleur is known for passing the buck and deferring to other people in terms of accountability, which is something else that has turned Aaron Rodgers off. We know Brian Gutekunst is nothing more than an extension of Mark Murphy because he likes his job and he wants to keep it. They have disrespected this man.
You know what? I find this incredibly ironic that Stephen A. Smith will come out and say that somebody respects their job enough that they will do what it takes to keep it. When all of this female empowerment shit has Stephen A. Smith on his back legs, like Stephen A. Smith makes a lot of money. I think Maria Taylor knows this, and she wants to get paid Stephen A. Smith, you know, money. Now ask yourself, we all know Stephen A. Smith. Do you really think that Stephen A. Smith thinks that Maria Taylor, who's been around for like 2 years maybe, that Maria Taylor deserves Stephen A. Smith money, being the minimalist personality she is? Fuck no. But he ain't gonna come out and say that, man, because he know he'll get destroyed. And ESPN will probably fire it or suspend his ass. So let's not talk about the things that you do because you love your job and you want to keep it. Come on, man. Stay out of that realm.
And you're not buying him off. And this latest story just proves all they're trying to do is recreate a narrative. They knew that Aaron Rodgers wasn't interested in the money. They just did it for public consumption so the rest of us will buy that they want to keep him so they could cover themselves instead of dealing with the accountability that they have for mistreating that man. Period.
Most sports pundits on television assumed it was about money. Whenever a problem arises between a player and an organization, unless you're Kawhi Leonard, everybody assumes that it's about a contract. Like when Tom Brady left. Like when Tom Brady left New England, they assumed it was about a contract. When nobody really knows what it was about. Everybody has their assumptions what it's about. I don't know what it's about. I have my assumptions what it was about. I think it had more to do with Bill just wanting to go his own way. And when you hear some of the coaches after Tom left and the things that they were saying about him, They just wanted to go a different way. It wasn't a contract dispute. There was no contract to speak of. They just didn't want to. They didn't want to resign him. But when you talk about most of these, unless you're Kawhi Leonard, when you talk about most of these football players or athletes, there's always some kind of contract that is in the middle of a dispute, and that's not the case, man. That's not the case. When you're Aaron Rodgers and you made however much money you made in your entire career, and you're still making money from commercials, royalties, or residuals, and now he has this Jeopardy gig coming up that's gonna pay him a nice size, chunk. So it's like, is money really the problem? Is it really the problem? No, it's not the problem. But most of these sports and most of these former athletes, they don't know. And I don't understand why Stephen A is attacking this. Most of these former athletes don't know about that kind of negotiations when it comes to power plays. They don't know that shit. They don't know anything about that shit. Most of them have their own agents handling this shit, so they're not really privy to a lot of this. So to attack them on that front is kind of ignorant. You just can't do it. You can't attack somebody about something they don't know. Now, if they're coming out and they're making it seem like they have some kind of inside information about what's happening, that's different. But as far as I've seen, I haven't seen one athlete come out and do something like that, overtly just try to position themselves into a conversation where they have no idea the details, and they don't know the details from their own experience. I have yet to see that. So to attack them on that is kind of weak. But go ahead.
It's not just about the money. I think money's part of respect. I get the point, Stephen A. It's a larger respect issue. But to me, it's larger
power. The larger respect issue is power. The reason why Aaron Rodgers probably feels disrespected is because he wants a stake. I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron Rodgers wants shares of the Packers. I would not be fucking surprised. I would not be surprised if he wants a stake in the Packers organization. I would not be surprised, but good.
Than that even. It's not just about the front office respecting Aaron Rodgers. At this point, this is what it's about. And Murphy and Gutekunst have to get through this through their head. And in fact, I'd love for them just to repeat after me. Aaron Rodgers is my boss. That's what they have to say. They have to.
What the fuck? What did I just say? It's about power. That's what it is, man. I've been saying this shit for weeks. It's about, and I've been saying this for months. It's about power. That's what it's about. That's what Aaron wants. Aaron wants power. He wants autonomy. He wants to be able to make the decisions. He wants that. He doesn't want money. It's not about money when you just, use deductive reasoning. Why would he complain about a contract when he just signed one in 2018? And Aaron knows if he wants to re-up a contract, they're going to fucking give him one. It's not like he's fiending for money. It's not that. It's about power. He wants power. And I'm telling you, and I just made that joke about him wanting shares. That was a joke. But I really would not be surprised if Aaron Rodgers is pushing the Packers front office about including him in some shares, buying some shares of the Packers organization. Aaron Rodgers is if this was a movie, Aaron Rodgers would be that one businessman that wants to take over a large portion of the world and be a fucking dictator. Aaron Rodgers is that guy. And he's that guy. Let's go.
Say it publicly, not just to Aaron Rodgers. Hold a press conference and say together in unison, Aaron Rodgers is our boss. Because that's what he is. Let me explain how I mean this.
Max is talking about in a figurative sense, like he already has the power. No, this is why Aaron doesn't want to show up, because he doesn't have the power he wants. Now, the person that was closest to this was Shannon Sharp, even though I didn't like. Shannon says it was about money, but he also says that, you know, Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers sees Tom Brady go to Tampa and he gets what he wants, and they want that too. That is more on the right track than it's about money. Shannon kind of confuses me. Like, he's funny, and sometimes like he's really good at his takes, but like in this situation specifically, he's on two different sides. He says that Aaron both wants a new contract and more say. You know, which I'm not saying it can't be both, but the chances of that is slim. Like, how is it about money when he just signed a big ass contract? And he hasn't had say for years. Like, you really think the Packers, who without him would be lost, you really think that they wouldn't take his advice into consideration of who he wants? So, I don't know. You know, but Shannon is probably closer to this than anything. But I do think that Aaron wants to be the decision maker. You know, I think that he wants to be that guy. You know, he wants to be like Jordan, but he wants to be Jordan while Jordan was still in Chicago and he owned a large portion of what the Chicago Bulls are now. You know, but that's just my opinion. Let's just finish a little bit more of this and I'm gonna stop.
Rodgers' mind will decide his future, and only Rodgers' mind. The contract he has with the Packers is worth nothing. There's not a single thing they can do to make him play football. And he has a lot of options in his career. He could sit out 1 year. Why would they never do that? Because they could get at least 3 first-round draft picks and other stuff for Rodgers. So if your choices, and you know he has lots of options, and your choices are a bounty like you can't believe to rebuild your franchise, and it's already very good except the quarterback if he leaves.
What I don't get about these contracts for any sport is that if a player decides he wants to hold out, can't you just sue him? Like, a contract is a binding agreement. And sure, you could try to wiggle your way out of it, but if you try to, legal repercussions come into place, I would think. So how come these sports contracts aren't the same way when players decide they want to force their way out of it? Or players decide that you know what, I'm just not going to show up for work. I would think that they'd be able to take legal action. But I don't know, that's just me.
For nothing? Who in their right mind would take nothing? Now, I know it rankles NFL people for someone to kind of like step out of line, because it's a military game with military roots, West Point, and it's a war game, right? You're taking territory and all this stuff. And so people they don't like insubordination. They like everyone to know their place, and the players stay here, and the general managers here, and so on. But things have changed. The quarterback is so important now that Tom Brady's the boss. Aaron Rodgers is the boss.
Tom Brady is not the boss, but Tom Brady has a significant amount of say in what happens. Far more than any player we've ever seen, probably ever. Like, Tom has a lot of say. But is he the final word? No. Most likely the owners are the final word. And then you go down and it's like Jason Light, and then you got Bruce Arians, and then maybe Tom Brady is like right under Bruce Arians. They'll take his opinion on things. They'll take, you know, his consideration with certain things, but they won't. Oh, Tom doesn't want it, then we're not going to do it. If they think that it's feasible, if they think that it's a positive move that Tom wants, or if Tom thinks, hey, I think it may work out, and they think that it's something they can do, I'm pretty sure they'll do it. They'll consider it first, but then they'll probably decide to do it if it benefits them. But is he the boss? No. Come on.
It doesn't come to this in Kansas City because it doesn't have to. Patrick Mahomes is the boss.
Patrick Mahomes is not the boss. Andy Reid is the boss. So he's getting this boss thing mixed the fuck up. Okay. He thinks the players have the leverage already, which they don't, man. Like if Aaron Rodgers got kicked off the Jesus. Sorry. If Patrick Mahomes got kicked off the Chiefs and wasn't picked up by anybody else, the NFL will still go on. If Aaron Rodgers decides he doesn't want to play another game of football, the Packers will go on. The rest of the NFL will go on. This is what players don't understand. The game is bigger than you now. Players will still watch even if you're not there. Fans are still watching in New England even though Tom left. The game goes on without you. It's like life. When you die, it's sad to some people, but life goes on without you. It happens. This is how you know you're not bigger than. You're not the boss of. You're a part of. You're an extension. But that's it, man. I'm done with this. I'm done with this. But I'm right, though. For Aaron Rodgers, it's not about money. I don't even necessarily think it's about picking certain wide receivers and running backs to come. It's about power. Aaron wants autonomy. All right, but that's it, man. I'm done.